Hi friends, so I'm back with another Mains Concept Capsule video. This time we will cover the topic of creative economy. So this has relevance in the Indian economy section, and there have been a lot of news events pertaining to the creative economy, specifically the creator economy, जहाँ पे you will see, you must have heard of some channels getting blocked or copyright issues. Now that is playing alongside some positive developments as well, which we will cover in this video. The creative economy is quite essential as it employs nearly 8% of our workforce. Right. So this has, and this is growing. It is growing at, I mean, specifically the creator economy is actually growing 20% CAGR, compounded annual growth rate. And the government of India has recognized it. And a lot of developments have happened in this front, which we will deep dive into in the subsequent slides. So now, before we go into deeper details, it's highly important to understand what creative economy is. So the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development (UNCTAD) has given an official definition of the creative economy, and it states that it is basically a set of knowledge-based activities built on the interplay of creativity, intellectual property, knowledge, and technology. So essentially, what it means to say is that there are specific industries and economic systems. They are powered by human creativity and cultural expression. So अगर हम इंडस्ट्री की बात करेंगे, so they are powered by human creativity and cultural expression. This is basically the engine, and any industry needs resources. So the resources are here: imagination and two ideas. So you can see it that way. The definition is fairly simple, but I just gave a slightly more layered explanation of what creative economy is. So based on this definition, everything which is creative and knowledge based will come under it. So films, traditional films, music, design, crafts, gaming, and digital media, of course, will come under it. Plus, we have content creators as well. Now, I am becoming one of them. So this also is covered under the umbrella of creator economy, which gets itself subsumed under the creative economy. And India is doing a lot of is gaining a lot of pace in this sector. We have emerged as a top 10 global creative market, and we have a rich cultural heritage, growing digital prowess. We have still amongst the cheapest internet data rates in the world. So, and our citizens are leveraging that, going on OTT channels, going on social media like YouTube, uploading videos, sharing content, creative content as well. And that is kind of on the rise. So it really powers us. And since creator economy is actually kind of getting very significant under the lens of not just innovation but also government regulation, which will come in some time. But this economy in particular is growing at 18% compounded annual growth rate, and it is now touching close to 30 billion according to Ernst & Young. As something grows further, it comes under the government lens. A related event also happened, which was known as Waves 2025. It happened from May 1 to 4, a few weeks after the Pahalgam attack, and our Prime Minister was at the forefront of it. The theme was connecting creators, connecting countries. Create in India, create for the world. Over 700 creators in 25 languages were launched. Deals worth rupees 1,300 crores were signed between creators and investors. It was basically a forum where everyone from the creators to policymakers to investors gathered, discussed, brainstormed. Some got to showcase their skills. 10,000 plus delegates came from 90 countries. So this was India's first global summit dedicated to media, entertainment, and digital creative industries, which enunciates the fact that the government of India is taking creative economy, specifically the creator economy, very seriously. We currently have close to 100 million content creators in India. 100 million content creators currently exist in India, of which I am a part of. So yeah. So now, what has happened? So that in that Wave Summit, a few important announcements were made. One was the creation of a $1 billion creator economy fund, plus an additional 391 crores for the Indian Institute of Creative Technology. And these funds will be utilized for targeted funding of creators, skill building, getting and increasing awareness of latest technology that they can plug into their existing content creation activities. Secondly, WaveX was launched. So this was a dedicated showcase for startups in content, AVGC, which is animation, visual effects, graphics, gaming, comics, etc., creator tools, and AR, VR, and some interesting venture capitalists also came. The event also facilitated policy discussions on IP rights, piracy, regulation. Regulation, why is it important? Now, there was a famous, it was in news all over because of this channel called India's Got Latent, right? By a content creator named Samir Raina. So a lot of some episodes had a few objectionable content which was shown in that in one of the sessions, and it was flagged. It was ridiculed and rebuked by citizens and even government alike, and a lot of FIRs were filed. There was a lot of intervention by the state. So this got into news. So the channel got banned by YouTube. Now, which was the media on, like the social media on which it was hosted. Now, regulation also includes some of the guidelines that have been set that intermediaries are basically platforms which connect content creators with the citizens, and these include YouTube, Netflix, etc., OTT and all. So these will also go into the digital media intermediary guidelines and digital media ethics code, and it has been laid out by the government. So there has been some conflict on that front. So this forum was a way to enunciate or kind of explain or give an awareness on what India's regulations are, so that content creators and investors are made aware, so that everything can coexist in society as a whole. Also, there was a Waves Bazaar, which is basically global e-marketplace. 6,100 buyers were connected across 2,100 creative projects. And some tech industry leaders also came and they highlighted how AI can really power creativity and it can be the next growth engine for the creative economy. One example I'll give is in AI is the use of visuals that are AI generated, AI clones or digital avatars that are used by content creators in disseminating their content. So a lot of AI plugins are also being incorporated, and this is where we are at. And the Wave Summit, so due to the presence of 100 million content creators, the potential economy that it has, which is around $30 billion, so in India. So all of this really facilitates or kind of brings the attention of the government to kind of be an enabler, so that more and more content creation happens from the point of view of employment as well. Now, upsides. Why content creation has a good potential to fuel India's growth. One is employment. We mentioned earlier, 8% of our workforce are currently employed directly or indirectly in content creation. Now, you must have heard of famous podcasts, right? Like TRS, Ranveer Alabadia, Raj Chaman. Now, they are the face of the content creation in terms of podcasting, but there's a team behind it as well. So most of them do research, design, animation, and etc., which basically makes the content very lucrative or very interesting to watch. So on that lens, there is some degree of employment as well, because these content creators assemble teams, which basically helps them in disseminating content nicely. So employment is one. Global soft power. Now we know that Raj Kapoor movies, they were at the time appreciated by Russian audience in Russia, and that served as a good people-to-people relationship between India and Russia. And this kind of soft power, where you kind of get a good impression, or give a good impression rather, to citizens of other countries, that helps us softly, rather, in some of the other streams of action and responsibilities. Now, Russia and India enjoyed, an all-weather friendship, and all these soft factors like movies, which are watched by Russians in their country, it must have played a part in informing the citizenry of that country of what India is, what we represent, our culture, our innovation, and that really plays a good part in fostering good global relations with countries. And then skill development. Institutes like National Institute of Design are nurturing a new generation of talent by training them with gaming and animation sectors. Design is also revamping itself with today's day and age. Uh, Next is urban rejuvenation and tourism. Now, interestingly, a lot of the content creation that is happening, it is knowledge based and rooted to local communities. Now, of course, we have the mainstream news channels, podcasts, and other kinds of entertainment services that are rendered on social media. But there's a lot of other means of cultural expression, like folk dances, display of how festivals are celebrated in certain aspects of the country, certain parts of the country. We have travelers and vloggers who go and show us how a community in a particular place functions, what kind of festivities are involved in their culture, and all. And that really kinds of brings awareness to the world on what India is, because we are a hotpot of so many cultural factors, so many cultural nuances, and that invites potentially invites tourism, because once it is put up on social media, people watch it, then they would want to come to India and visit and explore and experience what India has to offer, because you have a lot. It was a very interesting pockets of good cultural activity. So this in fact makes tourists come to India, urban rejuvenation happen, local economy gets boosted, and a lot of positive engagement happens as well. So this is how the creative economy can really fuel India's growth. Primarily, you can remember these four factors. Uh, Also, from the point of view of soft power, the Wave Summit was, of course, one of them, where our Honorable Prime Minister was publicly recognized the importance of it. And we have so many industrialists like the Reliance Foundation, which have been hosting cultural events, and most of it are on social media, and they kind of try to bring India on the global map culturally as well. So strengths and opportunities. Why is India advantageously placed? One is young demographic. Now, a lot of this creative work, especially the creator economy, is fueled by young people, because they are digitally savvy. So, using different kinds of tools like Instagram, posting reels, doing video editing. So young people are nicely placed to execute them, and India is a very young population. 15 to 45 years of age, we are at an all-time high, and this is where our demographic dividend can be wonderfully reaped. So if the young people can get positive nudges to participate effectively in the creator economy, then this can lead to a lot of positives. Next is cultural heritage. Now, we have a lot to offer. We're culturally quite rich. We have so many different states, and within states there are so many different forms of cultural expression. So this is something which India has a comparative advantage. We have the traditional Bollywood movies have been in a way, cultural ambassadors of our country. Like Raj Kapoor is famous in Russia, Shah Rukh Khan is famous all over the world, Amitabh Bachchan likewise. So people recognize Indians through our global ambassadors who are involved and have made a name in the creative space, and that helps us as well give a good impression of our country as a whole, that we have something positive to offer to the entire world. And then, of course, our digital infrastructure, 5G network is now enabled. Digital India and other initiatives have made sure that we have the cheapest data rates in the world, and that allows anyone with a phone and a low-cost net connection to immediately get started. Learn by upskilling themselves slightly, they can really post good content, which can be appreciated by the entire world actually. So these are our inherent strengths and which pose as opportunities. The challenges for the creative economy is as follows: fragmentation and scalability. Now, uh, there is some level of saturation in content creation. So small enterprises, when they start, due to lack of interconnectedness and resources, they're not able to scale effectively. Now, for example, I have started a new channel, and thanks to your love and support, I have reached this far. But I also need to have access to relevant networks, so that my videos get more views, and it scales effectively to more subscribers with time. So a new age content creators are facing issues, and because of the size of the enterprise, they're not able to scale effectively due to interconnectedness and resources. Next is market concentration. Now, a few players who have started early on, having the first movers advantage, they are now dominating. And for example, if someone wants to start a new podcast now without sustainable support, it will be very difficult for them to kind of scale further, because there is kind of saturation, and larger players with more subscribers, more following, they have captured the attention of the audience. And in today's day and age, attention is the new social currency. So that is where I think there are some concerns regarding new players coming and competing in the same space. Digital disruption and IP concerns, platform domination. Now, this is related to, for example, there is certain objectionable content, and this objectionable content, when posted by content creators, the government sometimes wants to create regulation, but there is tussle between the platforms that host these content and the government. So that is a concern. Platform dominance also pertains to the fact that platforms have their own rules and regulations as well. So content creators are limited by the rules of the ecosystem. So for example, tomorrow YouTube might change its pricing policy, and since all of us are on YouTube for viewing different kinds of content, the content creators will have difficulty in adjusting to that. So platform dominance is a factor on two fronts. Copyright issues. Now, there was a famous case recently with ANI slapping copyright violations against many of the content creators who were using ANI clips in their videos. So this resulted in ANI filing for copyright violation, and then YouTube had to put a notice to some of the content creators, and those content creators then kind of got back at ANI, stating that this was not right morally as well. So there are there are issues, and of course privacy concerns. There's a lot of content being shown which might be violating privacy of other individuals. So that is also a major thing. IP concerns is basically, there's a lot of new IP that is there in content creation, and sometimes when content creators inadvertently use that technique, and they get also notices by different organizations for violating IP rights of the original content creators. Policy gaps is there. There's an absence of unified metrics and the weak regulatory frameworks that are impeding effective growth. We'll go into that after a couple of slides, where we talk about certain regulations which can be misused because the wording is probably not clear or vague, and it can be misused by the state to censor content as well. More challenges include funding gaps, so insufficient investment and access to capital for certain content creators. The Wave Summit, as we discussed earlier, was a way to connect new content creators with investors, so that they can help small scale content creators scale their solutions. Skill mismatch as well. Now we are in the age of AI, so anyone who uses AI and relevant technology in video editing, designing, so they will get more views, they will get more traffic, and that will make other players who have access, who are not skilled enough to create relevant content, they will not be noticed as much. There's skill mismatch as well, and that is where that 391 crore fund which was given to a body at Waves for skilling will be relevant. Skilling in new age tech, for that matter. So what can the government do, and what is the government doing so far? This is an organization, AIICE. This is All India Creator. It's a body. I think some notable actors are also part of this AIICE. Uh, Let me just check the full form, just to align myself with the right uh, terminology. Yeah, All India Initiative on Creative Economy. This is All India Initiative on Creative Economy. So this is basically a body that is responsible for mapping the creative industries in India. So in order to provide benefits, you have to first identify who needs those benefits. So this mapping of creative industries across the country is highly essential for governments and for the government of India and other philanthropic organizations to kind of identify who to give support in terms of scaling or funding, etc. $1 million fund. This was again we had discussed. It was part of the Wave Summit, plus 44 crore for this organization, 400 crore. Sorry, Atal Innovation Mission via grassroots creativity via the Atal Tinkering Labs in schooling. There is some kind of innovation modules that are being given to school students so that they can use a relevant new age technology tools effectively. Then we have Startup and Skill India. We government can support or is supporting creative startups, entrepreneurs and skills, and promotion of zonal cultural centers, which will help in regional arts promotion and cultural tourism. Now this will here we come to the regulations aspect of it, where regulations have to be made so that they don't stifle innovation. They don't stifle innovation. At the same time, content should be regulated, because objectionable content cannot float in the society and that can create a social disorder. So the IT Act 2000 and the updated IT rules, which is the Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Code, very important. Some changes are keep on happening because these rules and regulations have to keep themselves updated with the spirit of the times. So intermediary guidelines, intermediaries are basically, again we had discussed, platforms like YouTube, Twitter, X, which is now it is called, and other social media handles, which basically provide the place for connectors, for content creators to connect to their audience. So these intermediaries, which are platforms, they must oversee content and they have to comply with the Indian laws, guidelines, which and that will include removing unlawful posts, appointing grievance officers for let's say anyone raises some objectionable content, which is what we saw with India's Got Latent, and the YouTube platform had to bring down the channel as well. However, this can lead to misuse as well, because laws, the wordings of the laws can be interpreted, there's subjectivity and all. So content creators can actually face increased platform oversight. Their output could be regulated or censored to comply with the norms, which can affect innovation and creativity. Now, these are the extent rules. There was a new set of digital broadcast draft digital broadcasters regulation. A bill was proposed. Now they wanted to reclassify creators and influencers as digital news broadcasters. Now, as news broadcasters are subjected to licensing, self-regulation, etc., so these creators and influencers can be brought under that ambit. Now, this faced a lot of backlash, and then the bill was withdrawn. But it signaled a push for tighter regulation. So the government can again come up with something which might become a melting point of discussion, whether in the name of regulating objectionable content, are you really stifling or curbing the creativity of the innovators in this creative space? So this is what happened recently. And lastly, this code of standards for creators. So an 89-page code of standards is set, where content must be legal, honest, transparent. So this was also is there for the content creators to self-regulate. Any code of standards, code of ethics, you must have read in ethics. So this is basically self-compliance, and that is the broader aim. Now, what can we do? What are the gaps to bridge? Where are we falling short? Lack of strategy. There's lack of clarity on fund allocations and beneficiaries. It's hindering transparent deployment. Now, for example, $1 billion fund which was announced at Waves. Now, how those funds will be given, who should be the right beneficiaries. There are certain gray areas that needs to be chalked out or solved as well. Then there is IPR reforms. There is insufficient support for creators in filling and enforcing intellectual property rights. Now, IPR is also a very relevant topic in mains syllabus, intellectual property rights. So this is something which should be done. And then uh, digital inclusion. Now, this should include rural and women creatives because they also need more skilling so that they can have access to digital platforms and tools for them to also participate. And so that inclusive participation in the creative economy is something which should also be considered. Then way forward, what is the way forward? Then we can think that one is should define the fund architecture. There should be transparency in application, selection, and utilization of the $1 billion creative economy fund. Strengthening IP framework. There should be subsidies for filing IP and legal clinics to support creators in enforcing the rights. Now, tomorrow, if someone files an FIR against a content creator, uh, and the charges can be fake, so they should have enough access to legal support so that they can fight their case effectively. Uh, and create robust data systems. There should be national classification of creative industries for informed policy making. We saw that the AIICE body is tasked with mapping of creative industries. So that's a positive start. So once that mapping is shared with the government can actually do their internal analysis and kind of focus on who needs what kind of help or assistance. Uh, Maybe there is also a possibility for scaling regional innovation models. So one idea like one district, one innovation, along the lines of ODOP, which was one district, one product for handicrafts and artisanal goods. So maybe a one district, one innovation proposal can be launched for fostering localized creative hubs. Then of course you have discussed this, how we can empower at grassroots level more, have more digital inclusion, and women should also step forward through startup schemes and NGOs to effectively participate in the creative economy. Digital tech integration, expand digital design tools, use AI for revitalization of traditional crafts. Here, craft as in the creative economy craft, uh, so that they are able to produce better content, make better films. And even conventional film industry can also benefit by assistance where certain filmmakers who don't have access to a lot of capital, and you have to use uh, state of the art cameras and digital tools to make good content that can also be facilitated. So broadly we discussed like what creative economy is, what are the initiatives, what are the strengths, how it can fuel India's growth, how is India placed in the creative economy space, what are the challenges, what all the government has done so far in terms of rules, regulations, and also providing adequate support for actors in the creative economy space to flourish. And this is important. So this is relevant, and the future is creative. India's creative potential is immense. It promises both economic prosperity and cultural enrichment. Economic prosperity via employment and cultural enrichment, because the creative economy can actually further the promotion of our cultural practices, which are probably not that well known or should be well known to a certain degree, which is not accomplished so far. And due to its current, we discussed, right, that the creative economy has it's a $30 billion economy, and it can really add to our mission of reaching the 5 trillion target of our GDP. So, and this is something which aligns with India's natural strengths. Culture is our strength, and something which is your strength needs to be expressed well. And creative economy allows for that fulfilled expression. So that's all. So I hope you liked the video. Again, I just want to reiterate that I am currently not giving you advanced graphics, because my idea for this channel is to make you think, incorporate critical thinking in the analysis of recent events or static concepts. And I believe that this mode of explanation should really help candidates as well as people who are curious and who want to know about uh, multifaceted topics, like for in this case the creative economy. So please support, please share. If you like the video, please give comment and try to spread this to people who are or can be potentially interested in this. My idea is not just to guide aspirants, but also to incorporate critical thinking, nuanced thinking, so that my audience is well informed and there is holistic understanding of whatever topic I'm trying to explain. So yeah, that's all, and thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.